morning. As you can see, it's a little bit of a rainy day. Just to get about an inch of rain today. Unfortunately, it was just dry enough to strip till, maybe do some tillage. I was actually thinking about trying to throw some beans in the ground just to double check that air seeder, but that's not going to happen. We do have some things coming today. In fact, one of them's on a lowboy right out there, about to be unloaded. Got a couple projects going on. And that thing that's about to be unloaded, yeah, you know, we're going to try it out for that. This is a demo. If you've seen the picture and if you've seen the thumbnail, you know what it is. We're demoing a cat excavator. I think this is a 306 cat. I'm pretty sure that's what we're bringing. We talked about a 306 and a 308. So yeah, we're going to demo one of these. We're going to dig in a water line. That's kind of our hope. I don't know how muddy that's going to be now. As well as, I mean, a few other things we want to try with it. So this is a compact excavator. I don't know if you'd call it a mini. It's a 16,000 pound machine. But yeah, see what it can do. Alright, we're in the driver's seat and we're in the middle of the road, so we probably ought to get out of the road. We're in reverse too, so it's a little confusing, but hey, we'll at least get off the road. I have no idea how to run this thing. For all I know, it is in cat mode and not backhoe mode, so the controls are backwards probably. But this is out of their rental fleet, Ohio Cat, which is the same umbrella as Ohio Ag, I believe. They are obviously a cat dealer. They have a rental fleet, and basically if you want to demo an excavator and you're serious, they'll bring you an excavator demo if they have one. We talked to these guys a few days, or about a week ago, and they mentioned, you know, I mean, we're kind of interested in this size machine. Well, if you want one, we'll try to get you a demo. Here it is. Pretty easy to change the controls, and if you don't know, there's two different industry standards for how these controls work. There's ones that are called cat controls, which I assume because cat was, you know, kind of one of the first in the industry. Then there's backhoe controls. So Dad ran a John Deere backhoe for decades. Some people call it John Deere controls because I think a John Deere excavator will come that way. So we've always run backhoe controls. I mean, maybe the cat controls are better, I don't know, but I've always ran backhoe controls. So has Dad. And once you get used to something for years, it's hard to change. But there's got to be a way to speed this engine up that I'm just not seeing here. Oh, what did we do there? So this machine also has what's called stick mode, and now this control is just like a skid steer. So for long treks, that's kind of handy. I still haven't figured out how to rev this throttle up though. That's kind of, I'm sure I'm just not looking at it and it's blatantly obvious. Yeah, but don't worry about that little tree limb there. Fell out when I drove by. Weird, right? Rookie mistake. I didn't bring my magnet with me, so kind of hard to operate this with one hand. But this washing machine, for some reason, has been laying there for a long time. We're just going to go ahead and, well, snag it. Now we'll put it over here, and I'll drag it down, well, to the boneyard at some point. I mean, I could have done this with any other piece of equipment, but we're playing right now. Just getting the feel for this thing. It's very smooth. Controls are very nice. Well, I found it. Now we're in high speed. Kind of just want to dig a hole, but I don't know if we're supposed to do that. Dad'd probably be mad. There it is. Yeah. Yep. Took me forever to find the throttle.
Yeah, I see it must have.
There's your dipstick. Now when I was watching Dirt Perfect, that Hyundai he was running, or I think it was a Hyundai, wasn't it? It had all the hydraulics where you could get to all the fittings easier.
Well, these are right here, but they're not labeled like those were. Right, Hyundai.
Yeah, you seem to really like that. So this is the next day. We got a couple guys from Ohio Cat down here. They're kind of giving us a walk around on this machine, showing us how it works. I mean, obviously we know how to run an excavator, but there's a lot of cool features that the new Cat excavators have. So just showing us exactly how to use everything that this thing has to offer.
yeah, you're in cruise control now.
What do you think of cruise control?
Take a nap. They're nice.
Yeah, the TRS.
Oh, okay.
Tilt rotating system where it spins.
No, I'm talking about a emulsion.
Playing around with it.
So these are all the shortcuts here.
Yeah, turn down the radio before I get a copyright infringement. All right, there we go.
Yeah, so all your different shortcuts right here, you can fully customize it. Here's your menu, machine settings, control mode. So your pattern changer, go between cat and deer, stick steer modes. This is what we were playing with earlier. You can do excavator or control the blade.
Oh, okay, on stick steer.
Yep,
okay.
so that's where you switch that. Fine grading.
Is that just your speed, like sensitivity?
Correct. Yeah, implement speed. So you have an experienced operator, you could do advanced. You have someone who's a little bit newer, put it on normal, slow, so that's fully customizable there.
That's your sensitivity for your joysticks?
Correct. Yep, so you could switch that too. Cruise control, you just come in here, hit OK.
And that's only in stick mode?
Correct, yeah. Once you're traveling in stick steer, you just click your left trigger on your left joystick, and then it just puts you into cruise control. So continuous flow, that'll be pretty useful for you guys if you're going to be using that brush cutter. Okay. So instead of constantly having to keep the flow going with your thumb, put it on continuous flow. Keeps the flow going. At that point, you're literally just moving the boom and the stick, working the mulcher. That's where you unlock your pin for your quick coupler.
What's that?
That's your aux flow. You can control the flow rate on it. Select your work tools, whether you're using a hammer, a thumb, a shear. Sets the flows in the system.
So is that just pre-programmed specs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Auto idle control helps on fuel savings.
Okay, is that just where if you're digging, it'll speed up and rev up?
Correct. Yeah. Machine lighting. If you're using a beacon, a courtesy light, it'll basically control how long the lighting stays on after you exit the machine. Job clock, and then if you do some changes on here, want to set it to factory default, so you just do it right here. Display settings, change the brightness, the language, units, your shortcut settings that you can put on the monitor. And then here's all your radio settings. And then service, if they have to plug in, get any info off of that. Your Bluetooth, pair your device. And that's really it. There's not too much going on in the monitor.
So for the stick steer, that's just this yellow button here?
Yep. So stick steer, just pop this down, hit this yellow button right here. You'll get this little message that says enable joystick travel. You hit OK, and then you're ready to rock and roll at that point.
Okay. So in stick steer mode, do you have full control of the machine, or do you have to go back and forth?
You do. Yeah, so once you hit this button right here, your left joystick's going to completely move the machine.
Basically turns into a skid steer style control on the left.
Yeah, super responsive. Use stick steer, throw it in cruise control if you're going to be traveling a ways. Just makes it pretty convenient.
So this is stick steer. It says my feet aren't being used. As dumb as that sounds, that's very handy. And now we're going to try to engage the cruise. So yeah, now we're cruising. I assume that's lit up green because we're in cruise. Okay, so we're gonna go play around with this excavator now that the cat guys have left. Dad is taking it through the pasture field right over there. And we're gonna clean out a ditch or something with it. This isn't a YouTube demo either, so it's not gonna be here long. That is out of Ohio Cat, not Ohio Ag, Ohio Cat. Same company, different branch. It's out of their rental fleet, so it has got to go back tomorrow. But we are pretty grateful to, you know, I guess see what that excavator will do. I really wish we could demo a 309, because if you couldn't tell, we want to run some attachments on it. The 309 I think would be better for that, but they just don't have any in the rental fleet right now. Having some issues?
Yeah, I got stick steer getting it back. You don't want to throw any sticks out of it or in it. Just one of the poops. It says hit OK of it. Do I have to go through and change that or go back?
No, you should just hit the yellow button and click OK.
Oh, yellow button.
So if we would end up with one of these, we will definitely be getting a bigger bucket. That one's it's pretty small. The machine will definitely handle it. It's a 24-inch bucket. It's not very deep. The machine would definitely handle probably a 36-inch bucket with like a digging bucket. And definitely for trench or doing ditches, we could probably run a, I don't know, 48 or bigger. I mean, that little Kubota, whatever it was, 40, 10,000 pound excavator, it was running a 36-inch smooth bucket and it was doing fine. So I think this one would work for a 48. This is I think it's 16,000 pounds is what these are spec'd at, like 15 and a half to 16. There's a counterweight you can get for the back of it. Depending on if we went this size or maybe a 308, we'd maybe get the counterweight. I don't know. Like I had mentioned, the 309 would be perfect, but the 309s just aren't in our price range. We're gonna be looking for something used, like maybe a lease return machine or something, or like a 2, 3, 4, 5-year-old machine. And the 309s just haven't been out long enough. The 309 has dual hydraulic pumps. One of them just for the boom, so basically if you're running a mower or a brush cutter or a trimmer or something, you can be tracking. By tracking, I mean driving forward or backwards without pulling any hydraulic flow from the machine. The hydraulic flow is what's running that motor on that attachment. So let's say we were running a mulcher or a brush cutter, we'd be tracking the whole time basically, or quite often. And with that dual pump system, we wouldn't have to, we wouldn't lose any speed on our attachment, and that would be pretty nice. Dad's just going through here cleaning this ditch out. It's something we needed to do for a while, but we're also just kind of, you know, getting some time in on this machine, kind of getting a feel for it. I mean, our excavator would do this a lot faster because it's a bigger bucket, bigger machine, but this is a good way to kind of get a handle on this thing. We were hoping to be installing a big water line while we had this here, but the stars just didn't align, the weather didn't cooperate, the water company didn't cooperate, and here we are. So we are still going to do that water line, just not right now. After talking with my builder, he doesn't think we will need to actually have the water line on the site until October, November time frame, so we might just do that after harvest, we'll see. That is the stink mud right there. So there are old tiles in this field. Some of them still run, some of them don't. There's one coming out right there. It's still running, but this ditch had kind of silted up over the years. And if you don't clean your ditch out, well, your tiles don't work the greatest. Well, that tree had to go. See ya! Now, if we had that mulcher, it would about just demolish that whole tree and turn it into shavings. As you can see, our cover crop actually came up. I was really thinking it wasn't going to, but as soon as the weather started getting warm, I'll be darned if it didn't start growing. This is rye we grew and then harvested and used for cover crop seeds. So I was kind of wondering how that would work. We didn't use any kind of special variety and it all came up. Kind of surprising. Yeah, there she goes. Crazy, the bottom of them old posts, still good. Tops of them, not so much.
water bucket before you clean out. It's fast. I don't get used to it.
Faster than your Cabelco?
Oh God, yeah. I don't know if you can slow it down.
Yeah, you can slow all.
Well, I tried to. I thought I had a slower response, and I don't think. I don't know.
Okay. So when you're sticking in the ditch, are you in stick mode and just cruising?
Huh?
When you had the bucket in the ditch? Okay. All right, I'm gonna hop in now. Dad had to take off, and unfortunately I have to take off in about an hour. But we're gonna get some ditch cleaning done, and they're coming to get this tomorrow evening, so we should get to use it tomorrow too. Hopefully we can put about, I don't know, 10 hours on it or so. Kind of get a real good feel for it.
Training the SEALs, and that you have to practice a broad array of tactics and capabilities, and maybe some of them you don't use or maybe never use, but still the legacy tasks that you still got to train to it, and that's they call the Hornet and Super Hornet guys. We're the jack of all trades, master of none. So we have to know this huge array from certain.
Alright, so I gotta get going like I say, but we'll play with this thing some more tomorrow. Really liking the cruise control feature and the stick steer. I don't know how it would be if you have several different kind of excavators on the job site. It might be a pain in the butt, but if you had all cat equipment and they all had that would be pretty handy. Alright, we are back. So got back a little quicker than I thought, so I was like, well shoot, we only got this excavator for a little while. Might as well take this time and use it. Alright, so never ran an excavator. There's not a lot of places to mount a camera. Now, speaking of running an excavator, I've only probably got less than 10 hours in our excavator. Ran our backhoe a little bit more, but I am not an operator yet. So, don't have a lot of experience in one. Dad is a pretty good excavator operator, but it is something I enjoy doing. And with this machine, sometimes I feel like I have a scalpel, and sometimes I feel like I have a, like imagine like a ball peen hammer attached to a rope and you're just twirling it at the log. Not the machine's fault. The machine is very smooth, just 100% me, but we're getting there. Don't think there's much left of that one. Oh, you guys can't see that, can you? Just going along through here and pulling out these old fence posts, but this one is pretty rotten. There she is. And I dropped it right in the ditch I was digging. Great. We'll get it. The ditch is cleaned out, so I wanted to try the lights out while we were here, so we're going to turn the lights on. But I think that's pretty much it for tonight. Alright, that's it for this video, folks. Do me a favor and thumbs up the video if you're enjoying the content. And don't forget to subscribe. When I check the statistics, something like 30% of the people are watching are subscribed and 70% aren't. So if you can subscribe, do me a favor and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next one.